Such doesn't deserve this horror. Belandris needs to pay for what he's done here.
Hey, stay with me.
This is Sam's place. I hope he's alright.
When the source is scared witless.
Who's better than us? Nobody. May Reyna here?
We need to tell Belandros. Run, bastards! Damn vampire!
That's Tham's sword. I gave it to him so he could protect the tavern. Tham's favorite. Torn, but no blood. Could be a good sign. Maybe. I know that, Clogan. I knew Tham would get word to me. Don't like the way he ended it, but I know exactly where to find the best vintage. All right, let's talk this through. It's obvious there was trouble here. Tham's tattered cloak, his bloodied sword, and the note he managed to leave for me. Clever of him to tell me where to find the surviving townsfolk without alerting the vampires. No, but it did mention his best vintage, a dark joke referring to my days as a vampire. And the place where old Decius slept it off? That's the bank vault. Damn Belandros. The chance that anyone's hearts besides our own are still beating in this town is next to impossible. I really want to deal with Belandros. The such depository is across from the tavern. Belandros always had ambitions. But to become the terror of the Weald? I saw all the signs, but didn't want to believe he was capable of such atrocities. Our relationship started out well enough. A band of outlaws, trying to raise thievery to an art form. Whatever he did, Belandros wanted to be the best. Later, when banditry turned to blood, we hit a dry patch. That's when Belandros began to cheat. After we became vampires, we remained outlaws. We took blood from the recently dead and dying. We had honor. Only a few of us accepted the curse at first, but eventually Belandris convinced us there was more blood to be had than gold. He was wrong. I saw the darkness growing in Belandris, but it was Tham who convinced me to find a cure. He said I was better than what the rest of the gang was becoming. Now, my sword reminds me of myself in those darkest...
Their loss, our gain. Easy.
The clerk kept a spare key in a box by her desk. We'll need that to open the vault. Either the terror... Told you there was a spare key. Now let's go down and open that vault.
Mother, is that you? Hush, Abel. You'll give us away.
Stay back. Wait. Morena, you're with those bloodsuckers?
I'm not with them. Not anymore. My friend will explain while I keep watch.
Morena looks different. But if you're not with the vampires, does it mean it's safe out there? And did you see my husband, Gravier? He hasn't returned from his last excursion. We hid in here. Some miners, Tham, the banker and his husband, their clerk. My Gravier's been leading them to safety, taking them out in small groups. He's the best scout in the territory. But now it's just me and my son. Yes, he suggested we hide in here in the first place. He offered to stay with Abel and me while Gravier got the last group out of town, but my husband insisted Tham go with them. Now they're out there somewhere. But with the vampires. I'm just the town alchemist. I'm no expert on vampires. But Belandros and his crew, they came here for a purpose. I heard one vampire say something about raising an army. You seem like you can handle yourself. Can you look for my husband, Gravier? My alchemist shop is close by. Feel free to make use of anything in there. I don't know of any potions that harm vampires, but much of my stock is explosive, when mixed correctly. And if you find Gravier, not exactly, but I have all sorts of tinctures, reagents, and solvents. Many of them can be combined to create poisons and unstable compounds that could explode given the right circumstance. You'll want to go with something simple. I'd suggest grabbing some alchemical oil and a few combustion canisters. They won't make a perfect weapon, but if you can mix them, set them, ignite them, and run, they do make a rather large boom.
We'll kill Belandris and put an end to this. You have my word. And we'll find your husband. Let's go. Might not be a bloodsucker anymore, but I can still hunt with the best of them. Stay alert. Just one clue. There! Tracks. Take a closer look. Definitely fresh. And they head southwest. That pack. Check it out while I keep watch. Mining gear. Discarded to lose weight, I guess. Looks like they started veering west here. What's that on the ground ahead?
Stay ready. Never know what else might be headed our way.
Clothing. Must have been torn in a struggle. Careful. I think we're close. Someone took out these blood fiends. And look, what's that paper? Damn Gravier and his cowardly eyes. We need to talk. That's Belandris' handwriting, all right. Looks like he made a deal with Gravier to sacrifice the rest of the townsfolk to the terror of the Weald. If Gravier's still alive, Gravier's been working with these bastards. He must know where Belandris is hiding, and he can tell me what happened to Tham. After that, I'll show him the same mercy he gave. The stables are nearby, right on the edge of town. If Gravier's there, I'll make him talk. Belandris always wanted more gold, then more blood. Now he's calling himself the Terror. Sounds like he wants power now. Come to think of it, the stories of the Grey Host always fascinated him. Maybe they put a...
Marina? Why are you helping Marina? She's one of them! And Belandris, the terror of the Weald. He told me he returned to such because of her. This is all her fault! You know about that? I had no choice. It was turn on the townsfolk or lose my family. But you're helping Marina. She's one of them. She'll turn on you the moment you're no longer useful. Just like Belandris did to me. Doesn't matter. This is still her fault. The Terror came to such looking for her. When he couldn't find her, he set his gang loose and started stockpiling weapons around town. If I didn't make a deal, my family would be dead now. Or worse. Why do you think Belandris is calling himself the Terror of the Weald now? He's trying to build a vampire army, and he's using the people of such to swell his ranks. Look, whatever you may think of me, you can't leave me here to die! You can't! The vampires took Tham and the other townsfolk into the mines. I'm certain that's where Belandris has his headquarters. Or the vampires call it a lair, but you can't go down there! They'll tear you apart!
Friend, we need to talk about this. I knew Belandris was angry when I left the gang. But to destroy a town and raise an army... He's really trying to live up to his new name. We killed Balandros just like I planned. He broke our pact and started consuming innocent people. We robbed gold to pay blood servants to sustain us. We were thieves first, vampires second. Or so I thought. The curse was just a means to an end. Not quite yet. Stopping the terror won't be as simple as just killing Balandros. We need to destroy his weapon stockpiles and shatter his army. Maybe something in the alchemist shop can help with that. But first...
Please, you can't just leave me here.
Shut up, Grevere. Run back to your wife before I decide to tell her we were too late.
Out of there!
Rosalind mentioned explosives. Look for alchemical oil and combustion canisters. Careful. One spark and you'll be engulfed in alchemical fire. With that oil and the combustion canisters, we're all set. Let's find those weapon stockpiles.
Skill issue.
Those crates. That has to be one of the weapon stockpiles. Place the components and I'll do the rest. Components, and I'll add the spark.
This one's mine.
That takes care of the weapon stockpiles. Now let's head into the mine.
You wanna die? Fine.
Belandris must be keeping the blood fiends in dens. Just follow the sound of their wails, and we'll use the remaining explosives.
The devil will make you pay for destroying our weapons, Marina!
That's not all I plan to destroy, you bastards! Hear that? Blood fiends beyond that wall. Place a combustion canister and step back. Hurry! I hear more blood fiends. Place the combustion canister and stand clear. Alright, now we can get to the real business. That takes care of the blood fiend dens. But were those vampires lying about Tham? Damn it. I never wanted anyone to get hurt when I decided to leave the gang and throw off my curse. Come on. Let's find Belandris' lair and finish this. Belandris was formidable when I ran with him. Now that he calls himself the Terror, I'm not sure what to expect. He'll be with his lieutenants, maybe a few blood fiends. And Tham, curse their eyes. Just remember.
You're part of my army now, Barkeep. Get used to
He's got Tham. Let's finish the bastard.
Come back to join the slaughter, Marina.
God, Belandris. What have you become? Friend? Attack! Belondra's is finished and the terror is no more. I saw Tham run out when the battle started. Let's head outside.
Marina, what's happening to me, Mayor?
It will be all right, Tham. You'll be all right. Check on Tham, friend. I need a moment.
I feel cold. My skin, it's pale. Please, tell me this isn't happening. Yes, you're right. You and Mayor saved my life. Saved what's left of such. Well, if Marina could survive being a vampire, then I can as well.
It's done. The terror of the Weald is no longer a threat. I hope whatever remains of the gang has sense enough to scatter. I tried to do right by such, getting rid of my curse. Now the place is a ghost town, and I have no idea what to do next. Tham. Right. I need to be here for him, the way he was for me. Help him, whether he decides to remain a vampire or seek the cure. It's the least I can do. Remember, I don't like owing favors. So take this. I want you. I'm at a loss, friend. I was so focused on stopping Belondra's and saving Tham, I never gave a thought as to what comes next. I guess I need to figure it out. I told you, I owe Tham. Probably more than I can ever repay. And the people of such. It's because of me that the town was overrun by Belondra's and his gang of vampires. I need to try to help them all recover. To find a way to carry on with their lives. I think so. At least, for a while. Tham needs to learn how to deal with the curse. Then I need to help him figure out whether to try to live with it, or seek a cure. As for the town, that's a harder problem to solve. Once a place gets a bad reputation, it's hard to shake it. And the vampires killed a lot of people, did a lot of damage. Well, I suppose I can help deal with any of the terrorist gang that are still prowling around.
I will bring your murderer to justice, Father. This, I swear. You've come to the town of Ontis at an unfortunate time, Traveler. I myself have only just returned. Coming home to bury one's father is never an easy thing. What other explanation is there? My father, Oberyn, was town constable. He wrote to me about investigating some suspicious deaths. Then suddenly, I get a letter telling me he had died. I requested leave from the Legion and returned as fast as I could. Not yet. First, I volunteered to replace him as constable. Then I had to make the arrangements to bury him. With multiple deaths to investigate, I need to hire a deputy. So what do you say, Traveler? Your first task is to familiarize yourself with what's happening here. The graveyard is a good place to start. Notice the number of recent markers and the similar causes of death. Go on. Ontis attracts workers from both the Highlands and Hammerfell. It's known for its prosperous ranch. And the quarry has made a fortune supplying Cyrodiil with stone to repair keeps on all sides of the war. As a legionary, I'm not thrilled about that. I was. Still am, I suppose. My commanding officer granted me leave to put my father's affairs in order. When that's done, then I'll decide if I'm still needed here, or if my place is back with the Westweald. Come. Tell me your thoughts, Deputy. You examined the newest grave markers. Give me your impressions, Deputy. Indeed. My father wrote that both the ranch and the quarry were working their laborers very hard of late. But prior to this, I never heard of a fever that strikes down strong, healthy workers in the prime of their lives. They call it fatigue fever. So the town leaders would have everyone believe. My father made no mention of feeling unwell in his last letter. It was dated the same day he died. He often wrote to me about his investigations, said it helped him think through all the permutations. Just that he was baffled. He described fatigue fever as a strange illness that was killing workers, but he had a feeling there was more involved in the deaths. He suspected foul play, and so do I. All right, enough chatter. Talk to some of the townsfolk. They may be more willing to open up to a stranger than to me. You'd be surprised what ordinary folk pick up on when those in power fail to notice. My father's letter said he was planning to question Grakuk at the stone chip, ranch overseer Marak, and quarry boss Larina. Let's start where he left off and talk to them. Then, check my father's office. I haven't been able to do that yet. Just see what they have to say about recent events. The deaths of their fellow workers. My father. What they think about fatigue fever. My father must have assumed they had something to tell him. We need to follow up on that. My father's office. My office now, I suppose. It's been unoccupied since he died. I know I need to go in there. Take stock of things, but it's hard. If you could see if anything related to our investigation stands out.
so fine. A circlet of these crowns.
Another worker out sick, and right after one of my best died in his sleep. You look strong. Interested in making some coin in the quarry, stranger? Constable Ulbrin's daughter? Look, if this is about that conversation I had with Yabrin's father, I must have been mistaken. I don't know anything about the illness, other than I've lost more quarriers lately than I can replace. Briefly, I thought I noticed something, but I was wrong. Besides, he died before we could talk more. Look, the illness is bad, but my remaining quarriers are more than making up for the workers we lost. Beyond that, I have nothing more to say. Listen, I'm just the crew boss. I hire quarriers and keep them busy. If you have questions beyond that, you need to talk to Lady Raxley. She owns the quarry and knows a lot more about...
Despite rumors to the contrary, Carvane Ranch only hires qualified applicants. Seasoned ranch hands only. We have no time or inclination to train novices. And we especially have no need of rowdies. Perhaps you should inquire at the quarry? Ah, I see. I had an appointment to speak to her late father. Unfortunately, he succumbed to that terrible malady before that occurred. I'll tell you what I plan to tell him. No crime plagues the town of Ontis. Just a lamentable disease. Isn't that the nature of lawkeepers? To see a crime behind every event? Guilt is the source of every motivation? Baron Carvane ordered me to cooperate, as long as it didn't interfere with the business. You really are new. The Baron owns Carvane Ranch, which feeds most of Westweald. This fatigue fever, as it has come to be known, is a burden on business, but you can't toss a disease in the dungeon. If there is nothing else, good day to you.
Welcome to the Stone Ship Tavern and Gambling Den, stranger. Looking for work in Ontis? Or did you come to our fine establishment because you heard we host the best games of chance this side of the Strid? So you're Yabrin's new deputy? Good. She could use the help. I'm not sure I could come back and dive into work after losing someone as close as Yabrin was to her father. What can I tell you, Deputy? Constable Albrin was a good man. Kept the peace here. Made sure the workers, both native townsfolk and recent arrivals, got along. He was a friend. I know he was concerned about the illness spreading through town. We talked all the time. As I said, we were friends. He'd sometimes inquire if there was any chatter in the stone chip he needed to worry about. But the only news I can think of is that a lot of our regulars from the quarry haven't been in a while. Not much to tell. We're a small town full of hard-working people. Most everyone is employed by the Carvane Ranch or the Raxley Quarry. Baron Carvane and Lady Raxley have always had sort of a friendly rivalry, but lately it seems less cordial. The ranch makes a substantial profit providing food for the town and the region. While the quarry has had some success, since the war for the throne heated up, it's begun to challenge the Baron's status and put a strain on their relationship. It's the illness affecting the workers. Took Constable Albrin, too. We saw the first signs of it a few months back. It started innocently enough. Most thought everyone was working too hard. But then those with the illness started dying. He was? That's a good question. I suppose maybe it was a little strange that only people who work at the ranch or the quarry were getting sick. Until...
Deputy, were you able to interview the townsfolk I suggested? I wonder what my father hoped to get out of talking to them. I know this is all tied to fatigue fever. I just don't know how. What about the constable's office? Did you find anything? My father's notebook? It describes how productivity increased lately at both the quarry and the ranch. Interesting. And he mentions how the town healer died suddenly, before she could share her findings. 2 suspicious deaths that 2 healthy people, not connected to the ranch or quarry, were suddenly inflicted with fatigue fever and died faster than any other victims. My father planned to talk to Baron Carvane and Lady Raxley next. Do that. Let's rally at the Stone Chip Tavern when you're done, Deputy.
I heard you uncovered a lost shrine at Fungal Grotto. How eerie.
If you're looking for work, please talk to quarry boss Lorena. I have more important things to do than deal with common laborers. Yabrin's back? I assumed she was fighting in Cyrodiil, or guarding the Count's precious bear. If this is about Ulbrin's suspicions, I'll tell you what I told the healer. My quarriers enjoy the rewards that come with hard work. Illness did it. I don't recall any standing appointments. The constable always treated me with the respect I deserve. He never found it inconceivable that Emperor Leovic personally granted an Argonian an imperial title. Not like Baron Carvane. My business is none of your concern. We struggled in the past, and were almost forced to sell to Carvane. But we turned things around. All it took was a war, a demand for stone, and for our quarriers to work a little harder.
Here we go.
The Carvane Ranch does not sell to individual buyers. This is not a general store. Might I suggest the market's in Skingrad? Or perhaps you can purchase a meal at the Stone Chip Tavern. Glad to hear that young Yabrin has gotten right to work. Her father would be proud. But I am uncertain as to what I can tell you that would help advance her investigation. What exactly is she investigating, by the way? I didn't realize that sickness and illness were now the purview of the town constable. I can tell you what I know. A strange disease has befallen workers at my ranch and at Raxley's quarry. Unfortunate, but there's no crime that I can see. Is it? No matter. None of this is a concern to me, and I have no idea how to help you. I have enough to do just to keep the ranch running in these difficult times. So if there is nothing else, I'll bid you good day.
Deputy, over here. Deputy, I have a message for you. The constable said she found something at the healers that pointed to a possible source of fatigue fever. She asked me to let you know, and that you should meet up with her. She wants you to help her search Carvane Manor. That I couldn't say. She wasn't exactly eager to share the details of her investigation in the middle of a town gambling den. But between you and me, if Carvane and Raxley aren't guilty of this, they sure as Tusk are guilty. Carvane Manor's south of town, on the Carvane Ranch. Watch yourself there. The ranch hands don't take kindly to trespassers. As for Lady Raxley's tower, it's north of town.
Ready to ride. Yeah. Got to be better than that to stop us. Never a dull moment. You should have run. That's it. Fling! Now! To the side! Watch it.
There you are. We should investigate Zegger's blind next.
Got your back.
Who's next?
To the side!
I'm with you. Get him.
Good. You found it. Place used to be crawling with goblins. Let's see what's in here now.
Let's see what you're made of.
Flank, now!
And down they go.
There's a key sitting on that desk. Take it, and see if it unlocks any of the drawers. Not for that desk? Then let's find the lock that key opens.
Shake it off.
after us. And Graku. I'll go warn him. You destroy this alchemical equipment.
Stay ready. Never know what else might be headed our way.
I won't let you destroy my life's work. You'll never take me alive.
Let's see what you're made of. Stay ready. Never know what else might be headed our way. Skill issue. Ready.
Damn. Mercenaries. Got the drop on Constable Yabron. They busted in right after she arrived. Mercenaries by the looks of them. I tried to help, but I'm not the... They made a point of shouting so everyone could hear. Fatigue fever is your fault, you and your crooked father. I know that's not true.
That gear of yours won't hold out much longer.
Preparation. Love to see it. Let's make this quick.
Agreed to sign the confession, Yabron. My patience won't last forever.
Over here. Get me out of these bonds.
Damn name. In case you haven't noticed, we've got company.
The deputy. Mercenary, kill them and dump the elixir into the reservoir. Come, Rexley. We need to get out of here.
Deputy, you stop the mercenaries. I'll go after Carvane and Rexley.
Let's get this over with.
I never did like lawfolk.
Let's make this quick.
That's far enough, Baron. I've got them. What happened at the reservoir, Deputy? I can't believe I allowed myself to get captured by this bunch. If my fellow legionaries hear about this... But tell me, did you stop the mercenaries from polluting the reservoir with the remaining elixir? Good. And we have enough evidence to implicate them. Not only in the deaths of Healer Navama and my father, but in the deaths of all those workers. Their alchemist created an elixir that made the workers more productive, but at a terrible cost. That's another death to lay at their feet, and all in the name of profit. They plan to destroy the town, blame it all on me, and run off with their ill-gotten gold. I'm just glad you were here to help stop them. I'll present the evidence we collected to the magistrate in Skingrad. Help determine who takes over the ranch and quarry. Ontis needs those businesses to continue, though without the danger of fatigue fever. Here's your pay, Deputy. I hope my father can rest easier now. I finished what he started, and brought the murderers to justice. I'll see them get whatever punishment the magistrate deems acceptable, whether life in a dungeon, or the executioner's blade. Thanks again, Deputy. That's a good question. I haven't quite decided yet. I want to stick around long enough to wrap this all up. See Carvain and Raxley face justice. Help decide the future of the ranch and quarry. Beyond that, we'll just have to see. I might have to. I'll need help rounding up the rest of the mercenaries at the ranch and the quarry. Damn it. There's a lot to do before I can figure out what's next for me. If you wander this way again, know that Ontis will always welcome you.
Ready to ride.